Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I thought I would show you another fun card you can make with the Crafty Crew kit for November. This one I thought I would go back to the vault and pull out a sketch I really like that I haven't used in a while, but it's heavily showcasing the fall weather um, paper. And we are going to use a stamp, which I pre-colored, and it is Marsha Mellow or Marshmallow, but Marshmallow is the actual name, which comes in the kit. And the actual stamp set has four of her along with a bunch of sentiments. So I decided to use the mug one for this one. But per usual, I did pre-cut a bunch of stuff. The only thing I didn't, well, let's work on getting the card together, and we can talk about some of the technique stuff while we're there. In my last video, I didn't really tell you a ton about the actual kit. The kit you can either to or you can just buy them a la carte. Subscription is generally the better option because you get a subscriber exclusive freebie in the kit, which is pretty neat. This one we're starting out a little differently by doing a half-inch border here, but other than that, this is fairly straightforward. And then I'm going to lay down this piece like that. You can see how we're going to use the two different, should say two of the different sweater weather, or sorry, two of the different sweater patterns in the paper. It's not called sweater weather. Sometimes I think it is because there's so many sweaters in this particular paper pad, but you know, it's good to call things what they actually are. There we go. And you can check when you're done. If you do have like a little oopsie like that, you can just bring in your trimmer. And I just, something like that, I just kind of feel the edge of where the overhang starts. And then, oh, look, it's perfect. And then this is going to mat like right here. The other thing I think, like, I don't talk about enough is how convenient it is to have a kit where all the products coordinate. Because I think sometimes it's, especially if you're looking at a larger release, it's always tricky to decide what exactly you want. And the nice thing about this is you basically get everything. And then we just adjust until it looks, whoop, that's not straight. There we go. There we are. And then we're going to have a little piece here. Now, because there's two layers here, if you want to, you can absolutely shim underneath each edge here. And I can show you how to do that. You can do that. Let me get this piece together. But you can really do it with any remnant. And the reason you might want to do that in this particular case is that we have about two layers of cardstock. Now, if you want fewer layers of cardstock in a card like this, what you can do is just cut these out as strips and then just glue them next to the edge. So what we're going to do is this. But if we want to, I see that I just have some extra little pieces here. What we can do if we want to is just basically find our scissors and cut these. So we can do like that. You may want to trim this in half as well. And I'm just gonna fold it over. And fold over the last little bit. But these don't have to be super clean, but basically what we can do is make some little support pieces here. If you aren't spanning multiple layers of cardstock, I usually don't bother with this step. But it does make the card overall, I think, look a little bit more professional. and I can just show you what this looks like. And then we can see what it would look like either on this, if we do this or if we don't. So, generally speaking, I try to hide this. So we have, I'm not going to glue this down quite yet because I'll do it on the other side. But so what this will accomplish is if you look at this side, this is really nicely supported. If we glue this down, it'll kind of, the cardstock will kind of bow. Um, so this is a way to not have to deal with that. So what we can do is essentially cut a similar size piece for the other side, and then we will just once again fold it in the middle. And since I'm using the same paper just because this is fairly dark paper, so you'd notice, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, especially if you're shimming it in a way that no one's ever going to see it. So there we go. It takes slightly more effort, but in this particular case, I think it will make a difference. So then I just put glue over the whole shebang, and then we will just figure out where we want this. It's about like that. Sure we have it even, and then glue it down, and then you can see this basically, well, if we ignore the extra glue that I just got there, there we go. And you can see it, make sure we're holding our card in the right orientation. And then the last thing we do is this one, and we can do the same thing. I just used a little brown ink just to give a little color here. This particular card layout doesn't have a sentiment on it, but if you wanted one, you could certainly add one. So what happens is then that this goes in here, and you see all these cool layers. You see extra little bits, but what we can do is do this again. Now this is just a single layer, just to kind of show you the difference. Generally, if you have one layer, it's not nearly as noticeable as if you have multiple. And the reason I did sort of the corners is because when our little character is here, when Marsha is here, she can the mug is straight, but she's kind of at an angle. So that was the rationale. Just going to center this and then glue down Marsha. And with her, we really only need glue in the middle because she's gonna hang off a little bit, which is kind of the idea. There we go. And I really like that you see that she has the blue in the hat kind of matches this, as does the orange and the pumpkin. So you have you have sort of the whole color palette pulled in everywhere. So that is a pretty quick and easy card. It's mostly cutting things. Um, and if you don't want to have as much dimension on this, I think this would mail for a single stamp. But you can remove dimension by taking these brown layers and not making them layers. You can just use strips as another option for a more flat card. But anyway, thanks for checking this out. If you're interested in the stamps or paper or any of that, there's links down below to Crafty Stamp Co. This is a limited edition kit, so it is on sale until the 15th of the month. Thanks much and have a fantastic day.